And we are live. FSBRacing.com on the air. Aero 88 Series, final race of the season here. Wrapping up a great season here in the Aero 88 Friday night series. Champion already has been crowned. That's Robert Bokum. So congratulations to Robert Bokum, and also to his team, Bokum Motorsports, for winning the team points as well. Taking just a quick look at points here as we get ready for the race. You see that Robert has a very comfortable lead. Some battles going on though. Battle for second between Sean Don and Steve. Derby Don, of course, is what we know him as. And there's a battle for second. There's a couple battles a little further down, as you can see. Joe Cutt and Dave Jandry battling 9th and 10th. Just 8 points apart there. Battle here for 6th and 7th position. T.G. Reese and Mark DeSenza. So still some racing to be done there. We see just a 1 point separation there between Ken Hansen and Pops. So there's still some stuff to race for here, folks. As you see, we are on the grid. As I get this thing going, Dave Jandry on the pole. We know who he is, and we know that that's what he likes to do, is get up front, start up front, and lead a lot of laps. And we get the call. We're at Texas World. Texas World, College Station, Texas. Pretty cool track. It's a 2-mile D-shaped oval. Very fast. Lots of drafting. Lots of room to race. As you see, as they start their parade lap here, you see that darker color, of course, on the track, and the whiter color to the higher side, and a little strip of it there at the bottom as well. Obviously, the black is the groove, but you can see it's more than 2 cars wide in those turns. So what you will be seeing here, tonight is a lot of too-wide racing, a lot of drafting. You do want to stay in line here. If you get caught out, you will get shuffled quickly here. The speeds are high, and you got to be careful. So we'll see how it goes. We got a decent-sized field, as I said. Dave Jandry on the pole, T.G. Reese on the outside pole. So we're getting ready to light this thing up here. Texas World Speedway. Very colorful. Very patriotic here as we approach Memorial Day. And we're getting ready for green. And we're off. TG with a great start on the outside there of Dave Jandry, and he's going to carry his line into turn 1 slightly ahead of Dave. Dave is in the preferred line, though. FSB rules, no passing to the backstretch, so these guys will stay in line here. And now the race begins as they and look out. Pops is very loose. Oh, man. And he's down to the inside wall. I don't know if he has much damage. Looking at the car, it's going to be really hard to get off that grass, Pops. I don't know if there's a caution now. We'll follow Pops' adventure in the grass here as he desperately tries to get off, and now he does. And wow, what a Pops, as we came off a 2. It looked like either he might, I don't know if he had help or not, but he got extremely loose. As you can see, the green lights unfortunately for Pops. The field is bearing down on him, but it looked like someone either Pops got loose coming out of 2, or maybe someone helped him a little, or it was in traffic. But everyone did a great job of avoiding any contact there. Unfortunately for Pops, it does stay green, so he's going to have his hands full here as the field really bears down on him. And there you can see the spacing. So Pops is going to have a long night maybe here, but you never know. This is a place you can get a lap back, I think, with the drafting. But right now, Dave Jandry is the leader. TG Reese is tucked in behind him now. Started on the outside. Now TG jumps really to the high side. Maybe trying to break a draft or something there, but quickly goes back down. Now he's back up again. So unsettled here at the front is TG now gets almost to the side of Dave Jandry, briefly, but Dave with that running that preferred line, and it looks like he doesn't want to waver off of that lower line. That again, that's the shortest way around the track, but momentum here is important, as is the draft, and you can see that TG is able to keep his momentum up on that high side, and as the straightaways end, TG has pulled even with him, and he's been doing it a couple times now. And that's what this track will do. And then when you get help in the back, that just really speeds up these cars here. And as you can see, they're still running their best laps every lap. TG running a 39:34 there. So we'll see much lower times as this race goes on. Trust me on that. But you can see a nice pack racing here. That's what we like to see at Texas World. That's what we're accustomed to seeing here. And it's a great place to race. It's really a fun track. Almost flat out. You maybe have to do a little pedaling here and there when you're in the draft. But you can see there, you can really get a run on someone. TG again trying that outside line. And again, Dave Jandry using the preferred line, holding him off. But yeah, TG's really working hard here, and we see as we go back, we're 2x2 here. Mark Fravert on the inside, Steve Webb on the outside there battling. Sean Johnson right behind Mark there on the inside line. On the outside line, looks like we got Ken Ron and rookie Cup champion Alan Myers. This is championship week here at FSB. We've been crowning champions every night. Except Thursday night where our trucks are going to run one more week. But we have been crowning champions, and Alan Myers in the 101 car there took home the Rookie Cup championship. It's well deserved. He's certainly not a rookie in name only. And we'll see how he does tonight. And this is his kind of track. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him running top 5 for the rest of the race here. And as you can see, he's hanging out right about mid-pack there, right behind Steve Weber. And right behind Alan there is our good buddy Derby Don. Inside there, we got Sean Johnson leading the inside line there, right behind Mark. Bill Yarbrough down below there. Now that low line's starting to get a little more takers, as we see Ken and Webb, they're side by side still. They're unsettled. But again, Webb not having any friends, and he's a little higher than you'd like to be, almost up into that white. You can race up there still. You don't lose grip too bad. But it's the long way around the track as opposed to the line Dave Jandry's been running, which is the short way around the track. So even with the maybe a mile an hour, a little quicker in speed, it's still not where you want to be unless you have no choice. And there we see the 108 of John Dog Palmer. He was really fast in practice, of course drafting, but still, fast lap is fast lap, and the dog pulled it off there. And we got a caution out. Caution is out. And looks like the 060 Dean Gautreau's back end is a little mashed in. We're under caution, so let's take a lap back or look back and see what happened here to Dean. As you can see, he was running toward the end of that pack. He was running side by side there with the 48 of Greg Combs, another rookie, just fresh off a big win last night in the Rookie Truck Series. So a couple rookies out here getting racy. Like seeing it. But as you can see there, it looked like the 48 came up just a bit there and tapped him in the rear quarter. And, man, that was hard contact. And that's the other aspect that was discussed here in the meeting with these guys before the race is there's some hard hits here, and you don't want to wreck here. You wreck here, you usually die here, and not in the literal sense, of course, but figuratively, you kill your car. And I don't know, that looked pretty bad for Dean there. So we'll see. Let's go back live here, and we'll see Dean crawling into the pits here. And yeah, he's going to have to get some serious service done and some work. But this is when you do it, Dean. So stay in those pits and get it all fixed, buddy. Tough break there for Dean. Again, this is kind of a track that I would think Dean is to his liking. Dean likes those. He's great at Michigan, so it's very Michigan-like track. Again, same distance, maybe a little more banking than Michigan, but again, it's Dean's kind of track. So I'm sure he was just gonna settle in for a green flag stop there, and that was unfortunate for him. Coming back to the top of the pile here, we see Pops there. Let's take a look at the running order. Did Pops? Pops is a lap down, so he'll pit. He had to wait for the leaders to pit, and now he'll come in. He'll get 4 fresh ones, and he'll go all the way to the front of the line, being the only lap car down. He'll line up right next to Dave Jandry. So all hope is not lost yet there, Pops. But we're looking now at the cars on the track. We see the 53 of T.G. Reese is your leader. 5 of Sean Johnson is second. 108 of John Palmer third. And Dave Jandry slipped back to fourth. After those exchange of stops there, so Dave went from first to fourth there. Don't know if there was any pit strategy involved. Maybe we can tell. Yeah, and there we see our latest green flag stops. Good view of everyone coming in. And we see the 51 of Dave Jandry right there in the front. Right sides go on, and there you see some guys jumping out. Gonna have to rewind now. Did TG take 2 tires? Let's see here. Let's go back a little further. Okay. You see the guys come in. There we see the 5 of Sean Johnson as well, about midway down. We see the outside tires getting changed on TG, and away he goes. So yes, the 53, the 5, and the 108 all took 2 tires. Dave Jandry leading the 1 tire line. And as we scroll through the field, there's 303 of Ken Ron. There's Dean. Hopefully got some repairs that's going to help him. I don't know. I always worry when I see a hard hit like that about how this car's going to handle now when it's up to full or up to speed and got draft and everything else going on. We see the lights are out on the pace car. We see Pops moving up. Pops, again, as I said, will move up all the way to the front. But right in front of Dean there, as we let these cars come by so we can get a little better look. the 96. The boss man is in the house at Texas World, driving the company car, the 96 car. Jim Ray is in the field, and I saw him running some practice laps there, so he's been able to put some work in. So maybe the rest of the field has something to think about here with the boss man. Anytime the boss man's behind you, you're on your best behavior. Some guys maybe get a little sweaty palm action there, and maybe slip up, and then the boss goes by you, and he doesn't mind. And as we go there, we see our one of our favorite cars of the season, the 23 Jim Sharf, the pink Freightliner, and we see last season's Aero champion Matt Watkins, also Pro Cup champion for this season. So congrats, Matt! Great season. Nationwide, he did the double. He's the Kyle Busch of the Nationwide Series, racking up wins in the Nationwide, and then he comes over and steals wins in the Pro Cup. And Matt Watkins, your Nationwide and Pro Cup champion for 2014 season. As we get ready for green flag racing, here we see the two tire guys. Pop's now, of course, on 4 tires, so maybe that will be an advantage for Pops, as he's on the inside there, desperately trying to get ahead of TG to get that lap back. Obviously, TG knows that Pops is a lap down too, so maybe a little give and take here. But of course, TG has the lead, and you gotta do what you gotta do when you're the leader, and Pops understands that. So as we see him coming down the front stretch here, it is the D-shaped oval, so not a true front stretch. The back stretch much more traditional, but the Pops is able to get ahead of the field, so Pops currently on the lead lap. T.G. Reese is your leader, Sean Johnson second, Doug Palmer third, getting a bumper full of Dave Jandry now as Dave dives to the inside. Basically everyone behind Dave, 4 tires, top 3, 2 tires. So we'll see as this run progresses how those 2 tires hold up. It'll be a good time to try it though again. Start of the race, only 15 laps in of 80. So this is the right time to do the 2 tire change. So good job by those 3. You can see that Pops is under a lot of fire by T.G. Reese as Sean is applying the pressure to T.G., so he's got to go. And, of course, Pops has every right to race for his position here, because that is technically a battle for position. Pops on the lead lap does not want to go a lap down again. T.G. is the leader, though, so you got to play a little politics here with what you got to do if you're in Pop's position. Of course, Pop's a very clean racer. There's not going to be any incidents like that. But as you see, Sean Johnson, very racy, taking that low line there and rooted TG off of it, and has gotten side by side with him now. And as they come down the backstretch, they're still side by side, and that's allowed the back part of this lead pack to scramble. And everyone's waiting to see what they're going to do in the front as these guys battle. And now it looks like TG has held them off yet again. Pops has maintained his position ahead of the field, but it does. Whoa, that was close as TG went up high. It looked like Pops was going to stay up there, but then as TG went up high, Pops went down low. And now Dave Jandry with those 4 fresh ones is really asserting his car back to the front as Palmer drops in behind him. I think that's a great move by Dog. You want to duck in behind the fast car and have him push you along, and he wedged himself in between 2 4 tire cars. So hopefully you can stay down that low line, Dog, and keep rolling as Sean is in trouble here as the low line starting to work for these guys. TG is still our leader. As we see going back, they're 2 by 2 with Dog Palmer on the inside, Sean Johnson on the outside, Guy Petra on the outside, pushing him. Bill Yarbrough on the inside, pushing Dog. Mark DeCenza's there on the outside. Back down on the inside is Mark Favorite as he drifts a little high there. A little scary there for Mark DeCenza, I think. I think the marks almost made a mark on each other there. I hope you like that play on words. Milty will appreciate that. Milt Mintner, of course, my partner in crime, is committing crimes elsewhere in the state of California. So unfortunately, Milty will not be joining us tonight, but he's listening and watching, I hope. And shout out to FSB legend Milt Mintner Jr. Won a ton of races, won a ton of championships here. Now he's in a mentor role now, and of course, he's a great broadcaster. Knows pretty much every single person in the league, and everyone loves Milty. And we miss him when he's not in these broadcasts. So a shout out there to Milty. Also, missing tonight's race was Robert Bokum, our series champion. Robert had some family business to take care of, and of course that's number one here at FSB Racing. A lot of family men here. Of course, Boss Man, great example. Jim Ray. And a little contact there between Bill Yarbrough and Derby Don. And there's carnage now. Cars spinning everywhere. Matt Watkins involved. I don't know if Joe Cutt got involved there. The 9 of Ken Hansen is involved. The 8 of Dino Francisconi is involved. 23 of Jim Sharp is involved. I'm running out of breath. The FSB Corvette is coming out, trying to catch this field. Wow, just a big wreck there. I thought it was Bill Yarbrough, but I think I'm mistaken. I think that might have been Derby Don I was seeing. That's of course caution is out, and that was, as they say, the big one. And here we'll see from the 8 cars perspective here, Dino, as you can see, running at the back, just biding some time, I think here, and as field makes its way around, we'll see where we'll move through the field here. There we see Matt Watkins, and there was the yes, it was the 54 Bill Yarbrough and Derby Don, and Derby as he came down through the field on just along for the ride, and just cars scattering everywhere, and it looked like the brothers got into it. The boss was into that. This is why he's the boss. Look at him. Look at him, just driving through, carnage everywhere, and the 96 car comes through like with a shiny coat of wax still on it. That's kind of sickening, if you ask me. But the boss man goes through carnage and comes out the other end smelling like a rose. So great job, Jim. Yeah, that was a big one. Let's go back to Bill Yarbrough here and see what happened. I don't know if Bill was out of shape there or there was contact to cause it. There we see Bill down in the turn. Everything looks okay. And there we see Bill. Oh, a little apron bump there, and it looked like as he was correcting, he got into Derby Don, and Bill probably didn't get the worst of it, as you can see them wrecking in front of him. That's a big one, and. Let's take a look at it from Derby Don's perspective here. This should be a wild one. As you see, Derby was minding his own business there, following Guy Petra. And everything looking good. Dog Palmer right in front of that pack. There's Mark DeSenza right behind Billy Yarbrough, Mark Favorite. And yeah, just that little bump on the apron got him out of shape. He tried to correct, maybe overcorrected, and Derby just catching the edge of Matty Watkins and spinning him hard into the outside wall. And then also collecting the 23 of Jim Scharf and a bunch of other people. But certainly not Derby's fault. He was along for the ride. I know Derby probably feels terrible about other cars wrecking. But just this is racing, and that's a racing incident. Billy Yarbrough just clipped the apron, and in trying, it looked like maybe he was got out of shape and then sawing the wheel to get back to where he needed to be. The car snapped on him and bumped into Derby, and unfortunately for Derby, he hit the wall, and he was just along for the ride at that point. And as he came down the track, took a couple guys with him. Certainly not anything Derby would be okay with. But that's what happens in racing sometimes. This is, like as I said, a fast track, and things happen fast. And as we go to the front here, as we try to sort things out at lap 24 of 80, we see that Sean Johnson is your leader. 51 of Dave Jandry second. These guys were all wreck avoidance guys. Of course, they weren't involved at all. They were ahead of the wreck. But we can see there's some movers. The 48 of Greg Holmes. They call him Raptor. Again, as I said, off a big win last night. So, guys, he's feeling good. He's feeling loose. And it looks like he's racy. He's up to third. So, great job there for the rookie. I like seeing rookies up in the front here of these pro-laden races. It's nice to see him mixing it with the big boys. And today's car lights are out. Sean Johnson, our leader. Dave Jandry second. As we said, Greg Combs in third. Mark DeSenza fourth. And John Palmer hanging around in fifth. Great job, dog. As I said, he was looking great in practice. No surprise to me that he's in the top five. And there we see the boss man who navigated the wreck and came out the other end clean. Is up in the top 10. He's up to ninth. So, yeah, that wreck really scrambled things. Let's see how many it took out. The 15's out, the 54's out. Of course, Dean, earlier incident. So everyone running, unfortunately, Matty Watkins and Bill Yarbrough are out of the race from that wreck. So, sorry, guys. Green flag is back out. John Johnson leading the line down. And I believe lost in that wreck was Pops. Quietly getting his lap back. There we see Sean, Dave Jandry, going down the backstretch there. Little move to the inside by Dave Jandry. He's got help with the 48 car, the 6 car helping teammate. Teammate helping teammate, of course. And Dog's in the middle. We got 2 teammates on the outside. The inside line of Dave Jandry and Greg Combs. And Dog kind of running the middle. Now Dog up high. Dave Jandry looking to cover. And did a brilliant job there covering Sean Johnson. And Dave Jandry reassumes the lead. Of course, our pole sitter led from the green flag start, but fell back a little as guys took 2 tires. Dave Jandry back in the front and back leading laps. Sean Johnson back to second. Mark DeSenza third now. Dog Palmer fourth. And little battle there on the inside. Dog had a fend off there. And that looks like the 44 car, Mark Favorite, who's also had a great season in various series, especially the Super Speedway series. Mark had just a tremendous run, especially through the second half of the season. It seemed like he was in the top 3 every single race and battling for wins every single week in the Super Speedway series. So great run there by Mark. Great run tonight so far. He's in the top 5, and I think the car is clean still. So he'll be looking to take advantage of some guys' misfortunes here and see if he can steal a win from the big boys. Right behind Mark, 83 is Steve Weber, and 151 a Guy Petra up on the outside there. So you see the 48 falling back slightly. 96 is Jim Ray on the outside there, pushing Guy. And we see the high line really coming into play here. And as I said, you can run both lines effectively here. If there's enough cars in the outside will be the better line. If there's more cars on the inside will be the better line. And right now, as you see, guys have left the outside. At least the top piece of the pack here has left the top. They're all down on the bottom, and then there's some high siders about 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Here we see Sean Johnson. Here we see Mark Favorite picking up another position. He's up to 4th. Dog up to 3rd. Dave Jandry still has the lead, but Mark DeSenza now challenging him as he goes to the inside. He pushes Dave high, and we'll see that Mark has now gotten into the lead, and Mark DeSenza, a new leader. Dog Palmer following him on the inside and has pushed his way into 2nd. Mark Favorite also on the inside, now side by side with Dave Jandry. And 96 car, Jim Ray battling side by side with Sean Johnson right behind this duo. So Jim Ray really moving up from 9th all the way up into the top 5 now, I believe, or battling for the 5th position. Mark DeSenza now has pulled out to a little lead. Dog Palmer 2nd. Dave Jandry's dropped into 3rd. Mark Favorite, though, looks like he has a very racy car tonight. And he's looking to pass Dave. But right now Dave said, no, I'm going to hold this 3rd position for a bit. And Dave goes to work on Dog. As we see Steve Webb up high trying to make that high line work. As we go beyond Mark there, and there we see 96 of Jim Ray now right on the back bumper of Sean Johnson. Right behind Jim, the 88 of Joe Cutt, series admin battling the 151 of Guy Petra. And there's TG who was up front earlier with that 2-tire. Now he's back in sequence with everyone, and TG's looking good. The 101 Alan Myers right there, and 303 Ken Ron right behind him. So these guys are not allowing the leaders to pull away by any means. It's very jumbled, but they're not really losing much ground to the leaders, and that's what you like to see. That's a good sign. That's shows that this is a great track, and you can run, as I said, you can run 2 wide and really not lose any ground. And we see Mark still in the lead. John still holding 2nd by it's tooth and nail, to use a Dog expression, as Dog and Dave Jandry battle 2nd and 3rd. There's Mark Favorite right there in 4th. Jim Ray trying to make that high line revive in 5th. And he's taking some people with him. The 151 is with him. The 53 is the 88. The 16 of Den Francisconi. Brother to Dino, who was unfortunately involved in that big wreck a little earlier. Things have settled for the top 4. They're all single file, and then we're side by side for 5th. Jim Ray on the outside, Sean Johnson on the inside have been battling side by side for almost, it seemed like 2 laps now, but it looks like now the inside is pushed ahead of the outside. And Alan a little high there from that inside line. Now he's just kind of running a middle groove, and that's not where you want to be, buddy. And I know he knows that. He'll get quickly back in, and everyone did a great job there. maybe a little lift was needed to keep everyone on point, and everyone did that. And still some side-by-side battles. Guy Petra, and there's TG and Joe Cutt. There's Derby Don, who had the adventurous ride down through the track, down into the grass, and took a few bumps and bangs, but he's still battling. Dan Francisconi right behind him. There's the 99 of Pops Markison, who did get that lap back. He went down a lap early, and he's able to fight his way back onto the lead lap. And there we see the 8 of Dino. Like I said, had some damage. There we see the 48 of Greg Combs. He's faded back. I know he didn't take any tires, so I think he's just happy to be right where he is. I think that's the right play by him. The 9 of Ken Hansen, who was also involved in that big wreck, still there. I don't know if he's off pace or if he's taking it easy. I hope he's just taking it easy. Ken's had a great season in this Aero. He's been really fast on almost every track. He's been up there, and through just a series of events, bad luck, call it what you will. He just hasn't really got the finishes I think he's deserved for the season. But he's still running, and that's what you like to see. Mark DeSenza running first right now. Dave Jandry second. Mark Favorite third. Doug Palmer fourth. Sean Johnson fifth. These guys have been really doing a great job here at the front. There's been lots of battles, lots of side-by-side racing, lots of clean racing, and that's what we see as Allen gets a little high, little kiss off the wall, and that will slow him. Probably won't damage him too badly, but it will slow his speed down. And as you can see, what that does is it allows the field to feast on that. And this is a field that has a bunch of great drivers, and man, you make just a little slight mistake and they jump on you. And it's okay, you gather it in, lots of laps left, stay on the lead lap, stay in the draft, you'll be good. As we go back up, we see Guy Petra on the outside of Ken Ron, and trying to chase down Joe Cutt. Derby Don right in front of Joe. 83 of Steve Weber there, and the Jack Daniels whiskey, Tennessee whiskey. And there's the boss man, Jim Ray, right ahead of Webb, right behind Sean Johnson. Jim in sixth, Sean Johnson fifth, the dog in fourth. Mark Favorite third, Dave Jandry second, and our leader, Mark DeSenza. And you can see this front pack has gotten single file. Which, to me is the right move. We're halfway, 40 of 80 complete. We're on lap 40, so as we cross the line, we're halfway. Halfway leader will be Mark DeSenza. Dave Jandry is still in second. The leaders have really held their positions for now. And as soon as I say that, Dave Jandry jumps up to the outside to take a little breath, take a little look at what's out there. I don't think he's liked what he saw. Ducked back in. .44 Mark Favorite, kind of shadowing Dave. Dave went up to take a look. So did Mark. I think he was thinking he's going to try to make a move on the outside. You gotta have a little friends. Gotta have some friends here at Texas World. Make a move on the outside. No one goes with you. You're going to go right to the back. As we've seen that happen, some guys, who've gotten out of shape or gotten up too high. You can see the field really will go right by you with the difference in speed that happens when that occurs. So you got to be very careful. You don't want to do that. But there we see just guys just nose to tail. The 108, the 5, the 196, the 83. They've been running in that order for several laps now. 49 of Derby Don. He's a demo driver. So a bump and a bang on the car is like, who cares? And Derby's wheeling that car, and he's in the top 10 with battling back from that incident, and you gotta like that. Joe Cut right behind him. We're on lap 43. Dave Jandry again taking a little look on the outside. Mark Favorite saying, is he going to go or not? And right now it's the... looks like the or not has won. Dave still right behind Mark, but has not gotten off Mark's back bumper at all by any means. It's not like he's giving Mark a free ride. He is right on his bumper. He's forcing Mark to drive a clean. He's got to hit his marks. He's got to run clean. Can't hit that apron or get into a turn a little late or anything, because Dave will be right there. And Mark knows that, and Mark also knows that Dave's going to race him extremely clean, because that's what these guys do anyways. You know, Mark's going to run his line. If Dave can get around him using another line, I think Mark will tip his hat to him. But I also think Mark thinks that it's not going to happen either. You got to have friends. As I said, Dave may be able to get a run here like this and then make that move to the outside as he's done. Can he do it all by himself, though, is the question. If the other cars, as you can see, start eating up that inside position that he's abandoned. And he's got to be careful there, because if he stays out too long and doesn't make the pass, then he's hung out to dry and he's going to lose several positions. So better to run second than 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, as these guys zoom by you as you try to battle back on the outside by yourself. So, I don't know if that's me or. And there we see some contact here in the back of the field. Guy Petra, it looked like Sean Johnson's connection had an issue, and he looked like he did a blink there. As we are under caution. And as we watch Sean, you can see here he'll disappear and then reappear. But unfortunately, with the connection, probably all weird for Guy to see that. And he collected the 16 of Dan Francisconi as well. So an unfortunate incident. That's a sim racing incident. For sure, I'll call that a warp. And Sean warped, as they say. And when he did that, depends on different perspectives of each individual person's point of view, really. What Guy saw might not be what we just saw on the cameras. It might have been a little different for him. He might have not seen him at all, possibly, or he saw him when it was too late to do anything about it. So that is possible. But yes, we had a wreck, and the leaders here about almost probably within 10 laps of a green flag stop. So the leaders here will slow down to pace speed. They receive the FSB Corvette pace car catch the field. And Mark DeSenza is our leader. He'll lead us down pit lane. We'll follow him down. And here we see Dave Jandry, Mark Fravert. Here we see a good amount of the field going in, and as the wreck happened before, I just recall. Give me a second here. I try to remember everything, but I can't. That wasn't very good, folks. Sorry about that. And let's rewind that to see this who won this battle of pit lane. As we are under caution, of course, so got time to watch this a second time. But as I was saying before, that very first caution. Shout out to Robert Bokum, our series champion. He wasn't able to attend, got some family business to take care of, and I think if he can get back in time, he said he's going to try to jump on and watch the broadcast at the very least. Of course, he'd watch it, later anyways, but always fun to watch it live. And if he is back in town and back at home, congratulations, Robert, and we're all missing you out here tonight. Robert Bokum, of course, multi-series champion this season, short track champion, Sportsman Cup champion, Chicken Run champion, Arrow champion. So just he's in another level from most of us. I say most of us because, believe it or not, there's still guys out there that he'll tell you firsthand that give him plenty of good battles. And of course, the 15 car, Matt Watkins, certainly comes to mind. Those guys are the cream of the crop when it comes to sim racing. Several other guys are right there with him. Mark DeSenza, Dave Jandry, all these guys are quality sim drivers, and certainly not taking anything away from any of them, because they're all better than me, that's for dang sure. And I appreciate everything that they do, especially their driving skills. And yeah, it's really fun to watch for me, and it's fun to do these broadcasts. And we appreciate people watching. We appreciate all the drivers that put on the great show. We appreciate our sponsors that send trophies out for the various series. As we said, Sean Johnson, Pro Cup sponsor. Johnson Truck Lines is going to take care of the Matty Watkins trophy this season. This series is sponsored by Bokum Motorsports, Robert Bokum. We appreciate Robert sponsoring the series, especially, and all his teammates as well, as they're all sponsoring us for this series. The 303 of Ken Ron, the 6 of Mark DeSenza, the 5 of Sean Johnson, 19 of Troy Higgins, the 16 of Den Francisconi, who's done all the paint, the new paints for the Bokum guys. Den's a great painter. He's a professional in the absolute best sense of the word. He is a professional. He's a professional sim racer. He's a professional painter. He's a professional guy. And that's what the whole team is. And just a great team, and we appreciate the sponsorship. And we do appreciate everyone showing up here on the last race, basically, of the season. Not officially. It usually does end the season. But there was a rain out in Truck Series, which we'll have a make-up next week. But other than that, this is it. This is the final Winston Cup race of the season. As I said, Robert Bokum is the champion. And the Winston special event coming up in 2 weeks. Most of us here at FSB remember the Winston, and remember Winston Cup racing, as we are doing tonight. Winston was a great sponsor of racing, and they really just got a bad rap with the cigarette stuff. I'm not a smoker. I don't tell you to smoke. I don't say you should quit. I'm a free choice kind of person. If you want to smoke, that's your business. Don't blow it in my face. Thank you. But other than that, I could care less. Winston was a great sponsor. They poured tons of money into racing to make it what it is today. The guys that are racing today that never raced Winston Cup have Winston to thank. Winston poured in millions and millions of dollars into this series. Sure, they benefited. I'm not saying that they're philanthropists by any means, but they put on a real good show. And they knew how to do it right. They were the first to throw out $1 million. They did this Winston race, which became the All-Star race. I mean, they just did a bunch of stuff that was awesome. And the Winston, I think it's a 3 or 4 segment race. It's a crazy race. They're like little short sprints, all-out sprints, no cautions. It's back to the good old days of racing, and that's coming up in 2 weeks here at FSB Racing. So looking forward to some of those special events in the off season as we go green. Ken Ron is our new leader, leading laps for the first time in the race here under caution, and now under green. He pulls out a little there, pulling out here at Texas World is short-lived, to say the least, with the drafting. So sometimes you don't want to pull out to too big of a lead, because then when the pack catches you, they're at a much faster speed than if you did not pull away. It sounds weird, I know, but guys who race and girls who race and ladies who race know that that's the way it is. When you jump out to a 5, 6, 7, 8 car length lead in pack racing, and the pack catches you, the pack is faster than you, and you can try to hold them off if you want, but they usually find a way to get around you, and you just have to blend back in some way in the back. But Ken Ron looked like he might have goosed the car a little. He came back to everyone, and Dave Jandry in second, Mark Favorite in third, Mark DeSenza now back to fourth, and taking a look on the outside there of Mark. The Marks have been battling all race. I remember I made a terrible joke earlier about they almost left a mark on each other. So I see that they're still battling as we get to lap 53 of 80. Jim Ray now moving up to fourth in the side-by-side battle with Dog Palmer and Mark Senza. Mark on the outside with no friends. And as I said, you got to have friends here, man. You got to have friends on the outside. And he doesn't have that right now. And there now we see Jim Ray getting a little happy on the outside there. Thought better of it. Went back in line. But as I said, there's like 3, maybe 2.5 grooves here that you can all run and be successful. It's not like, you can run the inside is the best, but if you run the outside, you're going to lose, 2/10 every lap. It's not like that here. So you can, as I said, if you have some friends, you can make the outside work. With no friends, everyone on the inside, it's definitely not going to work. And we are kind of in line now. Top 5 have aligned. Mark Senza has fell back to 6th as he made that move to the outside. It didn't work out for him, and as I said, the inside line moves by you, and then you got to blend back in where there's a space, and he found the space and blended in. So Mark will again try to start moving back up from his 6th position. Derby Don Joe Cutt, TG right behind Mark, and the 101 of Alan Myers also in that group. And right behind him, the 8 of Dino Francisconi, the 9 of Ken Hansen, 48 of Greg Combs, 5 of Sean Johnson, who had that incident. And it looks like, taking a look at the car here, folks, it looks like the bumper is pushed in a little. I don't know if he's damaged the motor. Looks like he's desperately trying to hold on to the draft here. And behind him, 99 of Pops Margison. Don't know if Pops has any damage or if he's just off the pace. And there we see Steve Webb is way off the pace. Guy Petra is now in the pits. I think Webb was probably coming out of the pits. I don't know if those guys that stayed out or something. I don't know why those guys would be pitting right now. As we're on lap 56, we just went back green flag racing about 6-7 laps ago. So, not sure what's going on with Webb and Guy Petra. They're hitting the pit stops, but maybe there's some strategy involved that my addled brain isn't able to pick up on at the moment. 57, 67, 70, it's at 23 laps. Maybe they're trying to short pit this. So, Good for them. I hope it works. I like when guys make when guys like Guy make a guy move like that. So good job there. Hope it works out for you boys. Ken Ron hopes it doesn't work out because he's the leader. Mark Ken leading Dave Jandry. Mark Favorite in third. Jim Ray in fourth. Mark DeSenza now up to fifth. Dog has slipped back a little. It looks like to I'd say eighth. So Mark able to take that position. Here we see Mark. Derby Don right behind Mark there. Joe Cutt. Dog Palmer now behind Joe Cutt. TG and Alan Myers are all in line there. We'll call that our lead pack. Everyone single file racing right now as we hit about to go 20 to go here. I think Guy Petra and Steve Webb were throwing down some strategy there with short pitting. I think they said, you know what, we can make it the rest of the way with 24 to go. So let's pit now. These guys are going to be pitting, with maybe 5-8 to go. And we won't have to pit. We'll go right by them. Or maybe not. We'll find out. Or maybe a caution will come out and scramble everything. We shall see as the top five have stayed in line very nicely. And of course, as soon as I say that again, Mark took a look on the outside of Dave Jandry, thought better of it. Now goes, did a little outside-inside move on him, and that was a successful move as Dave looked like maybe defending the outside and got caught short, and has to do some driving there. And Dave Jandry, of course, showing the skill that he has as a driver, fends off that attack. And everyone again stays in line, but you can see that kind of attack almost was successful by Mark. That was a great move there by Mark. Jim Ray gets a little high, getting into 3, and Mark DeSenza was able to get underneath him and take that position away from Jim. So Mark up to 4th. Mark made a move earlier on the leaders, didn't work out. He fell back to about 6th. Now working his way back up to 4th. Jim Ray 5th, Derby Don 6th, Joe Cutt 7th. And there we see Steve Weber going a lap down. Let's see if is that 2 laps down. No, that's 1 lap down. And actually, Ken Ron, I've been saying he's the leader. He's actually the tail end of the lead lap car. My apologies to Dave. Dave is your leader. Ken Ron is on the tail end of the lead lap. Ken's doing a great job there. He's certainly not slowing Dave down at all. Never see Guy Petra also now going a lap down, but they pitted. So they're not too broken up about going a lap down. If they can get down now, and get in this line and stay with these guys and maybe move up a position or 2 here and there with fresh tires. That's what you got to do now. Even if you're a lap down, that's the strategy. Unfortunately for Guy, it looks like he's not able to get in to his position. He's fallen all the way back. Dave continues to lead. 44 Mark Favorite 2nd. Mark DeSenza 3rd. Jim Ray 4th. Derby Don back up to 5th now. Mark very high there. Had to probably get off the gas to avoid the wall, and that's really going to cost him as this low line all gets by him. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, maybe losing a 6th there. So unfortunate act there for Mark as he got high and the line has gone by him. There's teammate Sean Johnson. We'll let him in. So everything good to go there. There we see Dino and Ken Hansen also. And, yeah, it looks like Guy Petra is a little off pace as well. So maybe Guy has some damage or that he couldn't fix up enough to make him competitive anymore. But Steve Weber trying to find the web. Where is he? Yeah, I don't see him either. So both those guys who pitted fell off the pace of the leaders. And yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to make up that much ground as we're on lap 65. 15 laps remaining here at Texas World. Our leader is the 51 of Dave Jandry. Up to second now is the 96 of Jim Ray. The boss is really looking good tonight, man. He avoided that wreck, and I think that made him feel like he's Superman. And he is drove right to the front of this field, and he is putting a lot of pressure on Dave Jandry. I mean, he's not just riding around now. As we get to inside 15 laps remaining, it's go time. Now pit strategy here. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it 15 more laps. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But right now, Dave Jandry has his hands full of Jim Ray and Derby Don battling back from that earlier incident. Joe Cutt now up to fourth. Dog back up to fifth. TG now coming back up. TG was one of those cars who early on took two-tire and jumped up a bunch of positions. Now he's again slowly making his way forward. He's won a race this season as well, so TG is still looking to make his way to the front here. There's the 44 Mark Favorite now has kind of fallen back a little. I think he might have got shuffled to the outside, and that's what can happen here. You got to be careful. You get on the outside, and again, like I said, if you don't have the friends, you can get left out and lose several positions, if not more than several. But right now, Dave Jandry is our leader. He's led a lot of laps tonight. In fact, he probably led the most laps tonight. Jim Ray continuing to dog him in second. And he's trying that out. So he's trying to get people but we're starting to separate the field a little more than it was before. As you can see, the caution is out, which is probably why these guys were driving like that. Not sure what brought the caution. I don't even think I saw any smoke. So we are under caution. Ken Ron did get his lap back as well, so Ken will join the lead lap. And as we see Dave Jandry with that late entrance to pit lane, trying to do a little bird dog in there as they cross pit access lane there and cross the line. Dave Jandry will lead him down. Jim Ray right on his bumper. Of course, Jim took a rear. Joe Cutt got turned around. He's backwards. You can change your. You can get a pit stop done backwards, but you got to be careful. So Joe will take his time, stay calm, pit the car, take your medicine. Obviously, not your doing in most likely terms. So you just got to keep your cool there. Don't want to do anything crazy. And Jim Ray, I believe, did a two-tire stop there, I believe, and that's put him out in front. So Jim Ray, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, win this race, buddy. That would be awesome. I can hear Milty yelling, I think, already, as he likes to do. So So the 96 car will be your leader as we get inside 10 laps. So 10 lap rule as well. Any cars lap down or more have to pit. Give the leaders a clean sheet in front of them. So the 151 of Guy Petra will be peeling off this lap to allow Jim as the leader to take the pace car. 49 of Derby Don is shown in second, but he looks like he's fourth now, or third, excuse me, in the running order. Mark Favorite, who also, I believe, did a two-tire stop now, has gone back up to second. And as I said earlier, this is a track I think Mark can very much win. Mark's been driving those super speedways brilliantly. This is almost a pseudo super speedway. You can't. It's not just keep your foot to the floor and drive around. You do have to work the pedal here a little more. The drafting here is a little different than a super speedway because it is only 2 miles around, not 2.5 or more. So it is slightly different, but it's like I said, it's kind of like it's like half super speedway and half speedway. So it's a half super speedway. But that's a kind of track Mark's been excelling at, and so he's up to second, Derby Don third, and there's Alan in fourth. As I said, this is another track I think that Alan he likes fast tracks, and he likes keeping the gas to the floor. He doesn't like lifting. So this is a good track where when your car's right and you're good, you don't lift, and so. No surprise there either from the 101 car, and the 51 of Dave Jandry, who was our leader as we went into the pits, back to fifth as a four-tire change for Dave Jandry. Lights are still on the pace car, so we're on lap 71. There'll be 72 under caution. The lights will go out most likely right here, so we'll have a dash for cash. And remember here, there is no green-white checker in FSB racing. Races will end under caution. So that can happen, and it has happened, and it will continue to happen. But right now, the lights are off on the pace car. Jim Ray is your leader. Yes, Dorothy, there is a Kansas. 44 Mark Favorite second. 49 Derby Don third. Uh-oh. I think the 44 car blew up. The 44 car has been towed to the pits. And now he, I don't know what happened there. And there we see the pace car coming around 3 and 4. And we will be going back to green flag racing here. And for whatever reason, Mark Favorite looked like the engine blew up or something was smoking from his car. He's now in the pits, and Derby Don is the recipient. The rest of the field is the recipient of that position. So Derby Don now up to second. Alan Meyerson up to third. Dave Jandry up to fourth. Doug Palmer fifth. Sean Johnson sixth. Greg Combs seventh. Mark DeSenza, Ken Hansen, and Dino Francisconi round out your top 10 here as we're very close to green flag racing. Pace car will pull down on the pit lane. We'll follow Jim Ray here. Jim looking for a win. I don't know how long it's been for Jim. He doesn't race many races, so not Not from lack of trying. It's just from lack of racing. But he's going to lead this field with just 8 laps to go. 96 car in the lead. Derby Don second. Alan Myers in third, and Alan is a fast driver. And those two in front better keep an eye on him. He's going to go right by him, and he'll take a win here. He's not shy. He'll take this win as he dives down to the inside as they hit the backstretch and racing begins. Him and Dave Jandry are battling in third and fourth position there. Jim is leading Derby Don. Derby Don involved in that incident earlier. Crew did a magnificent job of getting that car back in shape as we see Dave Jandry and Alan battling side by side. Doc Palmer on the inside helping Dave, as is Sean Johnson. Now Alan getting some help from the 6 car, but Alan gets up high, and the handling might not be there for Alan. Maybe with those 2 tires right now, with the cold 2 tires, might need a couple laps to get that thing fired up. But Jim Ray is driving this thing hard, but unfortunately for him, Dave Jandry with 4 tires is really on the go right now. And now Derby Don has his hands full as they go side by side. But now Dave Jandry on the outside. Will Dog go with him? Will Dog stay with Derby? Right now, Dog has to stay with Derby because there's someone on the outside of Dog, and that's the 6 of Mark DeCenzo, who's making a huge run from 8th position to now all the way up to 3rd. What a great run by Mark. He hooked up with the right cars at the right time, but Jim Ray is trying to fight them off, and this is not going to be easy for Jim, as there's just so many laps left here. There's still 8 miles of racing here, 10 miles. Now we're getting to about 8 miles of racing, and there's a huge wreck. Huge wreck. 9, the 101, the 53, the 48, the 88. Pace cars out. Jim Ray will be your winner. As he hits the wall. As he hits the wall. Jim Ray will be your winner. Quickly with 3 laps remaining under caution here. Let's take a look at the 9 of Ken Hansen as he retired with injuries, and let's see what happened. And here we see everyone's racing pretty clean there. As we get down the backstretch, you can see guys are battling for position. Jim Ray trying to cover all 3 of those guys that were battling at the front with him. Oh, and wow. I don't know what happened to Ken there. Let's see if we can get a different camera angle here. As we see Ken come... Oh, there's contact. He came down. There's contact with Sean Johnson. And look at that impact. He went right through, literally through the wall. And then he came back out. Combs, hard impact. TG, hard impact. Allen, hard impact. And that's all she wrote. And as we go back to live racing, Jim Ray, let's bring up the running order, folks. The 96 car is officially the leader under caution as we hit lap 79 coming up. And of course, if the lights don't go out right now, we will not go back. Yes, you can do 1 lap of green, white. You can have a green and white at the same time in this NR 2003. So you can, just because there's 1 lap remaining, if the lights go out on the pace car, they will do 1 lap. Dash for cash is here. So if let's see, we'll follow the pace car. With all these cars, or with at least one car is a lap down, they add an extra pace lap as well to accommodate the pit stops, and that could play a role here as well. As the pace car gets ready to cross the start-finish line, the lights are still on, and that will do it. They needed to be off there, so as they came back around again, they would do one more lap for the win. But now they can't do that because the lights go off next lap. Jim would just have to. They won't do it because that's going to the checkered flag, and the pace car will just take them across the start-finish line there. So congratulations to Boss Man. What a great win by Jim Ray. Stayed out of trouble. Did a Houdini job of getting through that huge wreck with 6, 7, 8 cars involved, spinning into in the wall, in the track, on the grass, everywhere, spinning and wrecking. And Jim diced his way through that, did not take any damage, used great strategy, kept the car clean. He was very fast all night, and the right strategy at the end kept him out front, and he held off a very fast Dave Jandry and Mark DeSenza. What a great way to end the season. And I know Derby, I know Milty up in Tehachapi is pumped up for Jim's win, and we all are. What a great win for Jim Ray. Really, he's only been able to race a handful at most this season, with the daddy duties that he has undertaken with the birth of his second child recently. And so yeah, he's had his hands full at home. He's working, he's making a living, and oh, by the way, he runs the league too, and runs it better than any league that I've ever been in, and I've been in a ton of different leagues, and they just don't hold up because they don't have any leaders. They don't have any leadership, and guys end up doing whatever they want to do, and it fractures and breaks down, and then people go their own ways. Jim Ray's been the leader of this league since day one, and he continues to be, and he knows what he needs to do. He knows what works and what doesn't, and he's put all these practices into play, and that's why 11 years later we're still racing here at FSB Racing. So great win for Jim. Congratulations. Dave Jandry second, Mark DeSenza third, Derby Don fourth. So great job by Derby battling back. Dog top 5, as I said. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a top 5. He did. Sean Johnson, Dino battling back for a top 10. Great job, Dino. Ken Ron battling back from a lap, get that lap back, and now he finished up in the 8th. So great job by Ken. TG 9th, and rounding out the top 10, the 101 car. So even though Alan got clipped up in that wreck at the end, he managed to bring home a top 10 finish in the Narrow Series. So a rookie finish in the top 10 is significant in my book. So great job, Alan. Well-deserved top 10 for you, buddy. Good job. Good job. And we will see that it will say race complete at the top, and what that means is Jim Ray is your winner. And you're going to see some congratulations. There's going to be an Earnhardt style congratulatory line, as everyone going to give him a bump and go as they go by him. So, or maybe Jim's going to outrun everyone, saying, "Screw you guys! I don't want you beating up my car going into Victory Circle." And we see some haulers leaving the event already. I think that might have been from an earlier wreck there. Guys are already packing up and heading to the next track. But Jim Ray, victorious. And as the guys peel off, to respect the race winner, it's his track, it's his win, and I think Jim still remembers how to do some donuts, don't you, Jim? Yeah, you gotta get off that. You gotta get off that grass, though, or you. There we go. Yeah, he's a little rusty in the donut category, but don't matter. Doesn't change the great win. Yeah, well, you got to work on that in the off season, Jim. Work on your victory donuts. I think he just wants to burn the rubber off these tires and pop them. Which eventually you will do if you keep doing it. But just a great win by Jim. Congratulations, boss. Now he's doing the... who did that? I can't remember who did that. Matt Kenseth or someone. The Matt Kenseth move. Jim Ray, your race winner. Dave Jandry, second. As I said, Alan Myers bringing home that 10th place finish. Pops battled back from a lap down to 11th. Joe Cutt, 12th. Finishing, every car basically finished on the lead lap. Of course, a lot of retirees from some wrecks. Greg Combs bringing home another top 15 rookie finish. So 2 rookies in the field, both finished in the top 13. That's a great job by those guys. Congrats. Ken Hansen had some bad luck there, caught up in the wrecks, and just couldn't keep. I think he lost either a damaged motor or body damage so bad he couldn't keep up. Ken brings it home 14th though, so he kept up. He fought the good fight. And Mark favored, as you can see, piston. So Mark did blow up on the man. I'll tell you, that bad luck bug. Hopefully it ends with this season, Mark, because that's ridiculous. Blowing up on a friggin' caution lap. But that's what happened, folks, and just a great race win by Jim Ray. And give me a second here, folks. Gonna see if I can pull Jim up for just a quick talk. So well, as we see if we can get Jim. We'll see if he can join us. I'm sure he's getting lots of congratulations from the guys. I don't want to jump down into the racing channel. It's PG. Sometimes it gets a little and
we still on here?
Hey, and yes, we are. We are still on, and we're here with our race winner, founder, owner, operator, tire changer, diaper changer, Jim Ray. Congratulations, Jim. Great job, Jim. Congratulations.
Thank you, Greg. I was telling Derby, it's been like, I don't know, 12, 15 seasons since I was able to steal one in any series. So this is a big moment here in the Ray household. Got to thank my wife letting me race tonight. My little girl for banging outside the door the last 10 minutes wanting Daddy to read some stories to her. She held off nicely, though, so we can still do that tonight. But how'd the show look on your end?
It was a great show. Lots of side-by-side action all through the field. Huge, as you said in the race meeting, huge wreck there in the middle of the race. And I think that propelled you to this win, Jim, because you diced your way through that wreck. And if you watch that replay, you might have to watch it 5 times to see how you did it. It was awesome driving and shot you right to the front.
Well, you know, it hurt me early and it helped me late because when Pops went around on the first lap, I almost stopped because I saw the wreck happening and I lost the draft. I was about 10 seconds back when the caution came out. And then this time I really slowed and almost stopped. And then that way, once you're slowed, you can kind of accelerate and turn to make the car turn. But when you're slammed on the brakes, you can't turn at all. So you're just going to hit whoever's in front of you. But I saw Watkins, all your front runners spinning as I was able to get by. Real lucky there. Also, Joe Cutter pitting right in front of me on that last stop. You know, the crew was anxious. We were only going to take 2. Joe got spun right in front of me, and he's facing me. We're waving at each other.
We saw that.
He spins to get going, and then I just said, I got to go for it and hope I don't hit him. And the call to take 2 with Derby Don and Team FSB, well, you know, it didn't work out so well for him. He went from 2nd to 4th, getting pinched down to the apron like that. But definitely lucked out with me in that last caution. I mean, even Mark blowing up under yellow. I mean, anything that could have gone right did.
It sure did, man. It was meant to
buy a lottery ticket.
Absolutely, buy a lottery ticket. It was meant to be. But you put yourself in the position to win, which is the key. You can't win it on the second lap, but you can certainly lose it, and you did the right thing there. Yeah, and Mark blowing up under caution. He had a fast ride all night. I thought he was going to give you a run for the money, and then when I saw Dave and Mark DeSenza coming up like cannons with the 4 fresh ones, I was worried for you there. But that caution came out, Jimmy. I don't know. We'll have to talk to the guy that in the flag stand there to see if there's any FSB cash in his pocket. But perfect timing for that last caution.
Yeah, he's got that 96 tattoo on his arm. He's got to get covered up there. But Mr. Flagman was on my side, and I think Derby said something. There was a wreck behind us that got us that last yellow. I'm not sure, but it came out just as I hit the line. I thought for sure we'd go one more lap. Again, yeah, anything that could have gone right went. And we were also points racing with Derby Don, trying to get him second in the points. He was racing against Sean and Webb, and they had some tough luck. And there's another one. I don't know if you saw on the broadcast when Sean lost power. I think he went to desktop.
Yes.
And so I drove through his car, and I heard the contact, like that. And then, of course, taking the yellow, I was looking for the pace car. I went up and smacked the wall, gave myself a little damage. So if we would have went green, Dave would have had me. So lucky there.
Yeah, I saw you hit the wall there, and I thought maybe you were just figuring the race was over so you could celebrate.
I was just looking at the F2 trying to find a pace car. Not used to leading, It's been a while. I'm running about 3 or 4 times this season, and definitely luck was on my side.
What it looked like to me it looked like Sean warped out a little. His car was there, it blinked out. You kind of looked like you were going to go by him, and then he popped back up kind of on your outside, and there was a little door-to-door tap. And then he did kind of fluttered again and disappeared briefly. And unfortunately, he reappeared right by another. I think it was Guy Petra, and they had some contact, and away they went. But yeah, that's a weird thing that happened. I never seen Sean have a connection issue, so weird things happened tonight for you.
It did. Before I bail, I got a little girl wants story
absolutely.
time. Congratulations, Derby Dawn, getting a podium finish in the overall for Team FSB. Robert Bokum able to sit out and win the title. And I believe it was Sean still got second in points, if I'm not mistaken. But thank you, Greg.
No problem.
And big props to Mark Fravert and John Dog Palmer. John and I both made a couple mistakes and passed each other, traded positions. And all it took was just a little bit of that apron. And you ran some practice laps on this track. And it's pretty tricky when you're riding the bottom to keep any momentum in turn 1. That's what I kept saying to Derby was I'm horrible in turn 1 and 2. Had to slow down quite a bit to get through there, and I'd get a piece of the apron, and you'd lose a spot like that. Guys let me back in, but I know Dog wasn't so lucky. He lost a couple spots. But big props to those guys working their way up the ranks. Huge improvement with the whole field in general. Very happy with everything as we close out our 24th season here at FSBRacing.com. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Jim. And that's a great way to wrap up this broadcast. It will not be our last broadcast, of course. We will be doing some off-season specials. So we got an Indy 500 coming up. We got 2.4-hour Le Mans. We got monster trucks. We got friggin' crazy. I don't even know what demo derby.
Demolition derbies. We got an IROC challenge, 3 cup shootouts, the Pro Cup All-Star shootout. I mean, there's 10 special events throughout the month of June.
I can't even
off-season.
I gotta hold I lose my breath just going over the list here, and quickly joined by the man Milt Milner has made an appearance.
Yeah, we were just I was trying to watch the end of the broadcast on my phone, but my phone sucks. So how'd the last broadcast of the season go, my friends?
It went great, and I think it went even better for Jim. Big, huge win at the Aero Series.
You won! I
started dead last and stole it. 23rd to 3rd.
I seen you in the race, man, but my stupid phone wouldn't work there. Fantastic. The old dog's got some skills left there.
Lots of rabbit's feet, but I got to run. I'll catch you guys just in a little bit when they go to bed. Thanks again.
No problem, Jim. Great job, great win, and thanks for joining us.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so great race, Milty. I can't wait for you to watch the broadcast.
I'm gonna dial her up here.
It was about everything that you would expect in an FSB race. There was side-by-side racing, there was clean racing, there was hard racing, there was strategy, there was a huge wreck. There was
Jim Ray's a very
pit strategy,
driver,
two-tire strategy.
He's does not. I act like I'm surprised, but to hear that he won the race, I'm not really that surprised. You know.
No,
I know he can drive.
He ran the right race. He stayed clean. He avoided wrecks that happened in front of him where other guys got caught up, and he kept the nose clean. And two-tire stop at the end was the difference.
Well, you know, I mean, when you think about guy that runs a league, and you want to race in a league. If you wonder if they know, how to sim race it. Well,
answer.
That's pretty
answer
much
given.
your answer.
Answer given. Not to mention, Milty, this Aero series is the setups are tricky. They're not Pro Cup. But they're certainly not base setups either. You gotta drive the car, and this is a track. Like I was saying in the broadcast, it's not quite a super speedway, but it's not really a speedway either to me. There's too much drafting involved to be calling it a speedway, but it's not quite the speeds that we're used to seeing. So you gotta drive this track at the same time you're kind of super speedway racing and regular track racing at the same time, and that's kind of odd for your typical track that we race at. So
absolutely,
this is not an easy track to just show up and win at. If it was Talladega, Daytona, some of the super speedways that we all know, practice there maybe not as crucial. But a place like this, you just can't show up and win, and then win in an Aero series with the list of drivers.
Well, and then you figure, absolutely, I felt the same way when I had a chance to actually have a day off and practice, for a race, and then was pleasantly surprised. And Jim has got babies, work, and for him to actually be off and get a little bit of practice time. Bet he didn't have a whole lot, but he had just enough time to really prepare, and I'm sure, like all us sim racers, you want to be prepared to race.
Absolutely, and I know you
don't care if you win or not, but you want to, in this league, you want to be able to compete, know where you got to go, and race clean and be competitive.
Yeah, and I know you've said several times that you may wanted to race, but you just didn't feel it would have been fair to the field because you just didn't have the time to put in, to make sure that you felt good going into the race. And like you said, with the level of competition, if you just show up, unless your name is like Rick Johnson or someone like that who, like you said, does a lot of offline practice, you can't do it. You show up with no practice, you're not going to win. You're not going to be competitive. You're going to finish last, and you're probably going to wreck someone in the making and get maybe noticed the wrong way. Exactly. So I found personally that when I don't practice, I don't race good. So I've already adopted a habit of putting in the time and doing the things you need to do, and all these guys do. And the fact that Jim would do it if he had the moment to do it, but he just doesn't, and then show up at a track like this and win, that's awesome.
Yeah, like I say, it doesn't surprise me at all, and when you look at the off-season stuff that's coming up, the Indy 500. Me and him, we're going to be sitting in the booth, but
Yeah, we got the Indy 500. We got the IROC
feeling.
We got the race IROC challenge. We got the monster trucks going on. We got a truck fest. We got the Winston coming up in a couple weeks here, Milty. We got King of the Hill. Got all the shootouts, rookie cup, sportsman cup, pro cup shootouts. And the list just goes on. Le Mans, let's not forget Le Mans, Milty. 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Where we know, you'll be on the grid there.
You know, as long as the creek don't rise, but the Indy 500 coming up here is the first one that's really going to be special. And
yes, it is.
Of course, we got the
looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's a race you could win, and it's a race that like no other. Even though it's not the real Indy 500, there's something special about the fact that it's the whole distance. It's Indy.
It's as real as you can get without driving in it, Milty.
Absolutely.
So
the speed
what can you say?
And the focus and what you have to do, and
absolutely,
especially when you throw it away.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. I know we'll be throwing up a lot of Indy practice in the coming days and weeks leading up to the June 1st Indy 500. And the more seat time you get, the better off you are. That's for sure. I think it's a track really, from the experience I've had on it. You'd like to. I think I would prefer, if I had a choice, to start in the first couple of rows. I don't want to start in the middle of the pack. I don't feel comfortable there. You get a lot of buffeting, and the drive of the car is really different than when you're in cleaner air and stuff. So yeah, it should be a great race. I think we're going to get a huge turnout. I think we're going to get about a 30-car turnout as well. Of course, we know 30 cars will not finish this grueling race either, but great participation as usual from FSB.
Yeah, and you know, there's always a possibility that Jim Neighbors could come out of retirement and
That's
sing
right.
My Indiana Home.
Yeah, you never know, Milty. So let's wrap it up, Milty. Great season here in the Aero Series. Robert Bochum, our champion. Bochum Motorsports team champion. Got to give props to boss man Jim Ray on the great win.
Yeah.
Tremendous win. Shout outs to big shout out to Robert, who wasn't able to make the race tonight, but we're thinking about you, and of course we're all happy for your championship. And
Great driver.
Yeah, a couple great drives by guys tonight that maybe didn't have the results that they deserve. Mark Favorite had a great car all night. He drove the right race. He was right behind Jim. It looked like that he was probably going to be the car that was going to give Jim a lot of problems, and he blows up on the pace lap. And as we're getting ready to go green with 6 laps to go, he blows up. And that's just cruel and unusual punishment, if you ask me. So, just terrible luck by Mark. For Mark, he's had that kind of luck. It seems like it's following him around. So, hopefully, the season ending will end his bad luck as well. Alan Myers, our Rookie Cup champion, got a top 10 out of this, Milty. He was up there. He
can roll. He can roll with any division. Absolutely.
He did an early gamble with a 2-tire stop that got him some track position. Didn't last, but got him up to the front for a little bit. So he got to mix it up with the big boys. He fell back properly. Stayed in line. Stayed in the pack. Did have a little incident there in the end, not his doing. Got caught up in another person's wreck with a few other cars, but he got the car fixed, got back out on track, brought it home 10th. That's a great finish for a rookie in the Aero Series. And Dog Palmer brings it home 5th. Just a great run by Dog.
Top 5 for the Dog.
Absolutely, great run by Dog. So
can't wait to watch the rebroadcast.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up so I can load it up, Milty, for you.
Absolutely.
And great that you caught on here at the end. Better late than never for you, Milty. And I think we will be doing some special event broadcasting, Milty. Like you said, you and Jim will be in the booth for the June 1st Indy 500, but I will also be back. I don't know if Milty will be able to do it based on his work schedule, but I'll be trying to do as many off-season events that I'm not racing in as possible, and of course the Pro Cup shootout.
Text each other back and forth. Let me know, and
absolutely.
I'll tell you where I'm at.
The Pro Cup shootout. If I don't advance through the numbers, which is a long shot, of course, I'll certainly be broadcasting that. I'll be broadcasting the Winston. So we'll have some great events, and the special events are real fun, Milty.
Yeah, the off season is really a kick in the butt, and it gives you dates to shoot for where the season is grueling and grinding, especially when you got life, but sometimes off-season events are easier to practice for and focus on and really prepare well and set a date, especially with work schedule, wife, kids, and life, so
absolutely.
I think you're going to see people do a lot of that. Yep.
Absolutely. So we'll continue our broadcasts, and stay tuned, and check out the website, fsbracing.com. Check the special events page, and you'll see what everything is going on, and make yourself part of it. Thanks, Milty, and we'll talk again soon, Bob.
Yo.
You guys are offline, right?
Yes.